Hi, I'd like to discuss a character very dear to my heart, Norma, from Bellini's opera of the same title. I believe this is one hell of a structure when it comes to female traits. You do have those features within big female characters such as Norma, Aida, loads of dilemmas, loads of posture, loads of big eyes, and I love the fact that in Casta Diva she's full of poignant heroism and as well as some kind of activist sort of attitude. She's trying to march for peace, and of course her reasons are much deeper set than this. She's in love with somebody from the other camp, and of course she dies in the end. Spoiler alert. But we know that because opera usually has that, this punishment of treason, this punishment of forbidden love by death, and self-appointed death for that matter. So you've got all this modern characters for a lady, because of course you don't have the classic theme of the lady at work, at home, cooking. You have this big, bold, brassy character who's also extremely vulnerable. So you have this double-faceted coin. On the one hand, this very brittle lady emotionally, and also somebody who's strong enough to hide from her family and friends whatever's going on in her life, and dare to have an affair with somebody on the opposite camp, and brace herself to face her nation's wrath and her God's wrath too, whilst occupying the post of the High Priestess. You can parallel that to roles in major movies these days, with a political power who is also torn with personal affairs, that is maybe is dating somebody from the enemy nation, or somebody who's betraying her country to be in love with somebody. So this is a classic theme. But in the case of Bellini, of course you have the music playing those characters, and you do have, unfortunately, acting when you're on stage if you sing in that role. And I must say I have to admire a few of the singers who can also act, but there are not that many good singers who can act well also. But it's a costume and a posture. So of course when it comes to costume, you do, if you notice, a lot of Normas have a lot of white, Grecian themed big dresses, long dresses, because they're supposed to be the purity and the priestess in the matriarchy. They have this big skirts which occupy volume and space on the floor, long full-length skirts, as well as gold, a lot of gold, to assess authority, to express preciousness and quality. You can do so much with that, really, because that theme has been so revisited over the years, even recently in high fashion. And of course the nymphette, the new intern, Adalgisa, who takes the love of a life away, as well as the youth. She's much younger. So you have that theme in Bellini's opera, which is also, it's ageless. Ironically, this has been repainted and repainted over the years, over and over again, in cinema and in paintings, in songs. And of course you got this atmosphere of tension when she's eloquently discussing forgiveness, and this beautiful Mira o Norma aria. This duet is one of the most amazing duets in opera. I mean, you have to listen to this. If you do not know it, you have to listen to two good singers doing it. It's typically one mezzo and one soprano who do this, and who mingle and climb together and hold each other by the hand and go down and listen to each other and plead with each other and argue with each other is such a beautiful duet. In my opinion, one of the most successful and most beautifully, aesthetically speaking, and the most moving, one of the most moving duets in opera history. If you want to listen to one of the ego trips by Norma, if you want to have a look at Sediciose Voce, hope I'm pronouncing it properly, and she really bells out to the people, look, you know, here I am, Norma, how dare you mess with me, you know who you're talking to, you know who you're dealing with here, how dare you argue with me. I mean, this is a character like also ghetto, not really, but anyway, so she's got the backing of the gods, guys, she's got the backing of the gods, so you don't argue with her, so that's handy. So this is a perfect outlet. This is a great, if you picture down the Hollywood movie, this is a great chunk of life to bite, sink your teeth into as an actor. And musically speaking also, I don't know what the musicians have to say about this opera, but I guess as a soprano, being Norma is extremely difficult, since, for example, the Casta Diva comes on very early in the opera, for instance. As far as I'm concerned, I've tried this opera, this aria so many times, and every time I have a problem because it's right on my passaggio, and it starts with a k, and then after the k you have to open your mouth on a vowel and make that vowel like expressive, but it's an R, and it has to be, it's a long R, and then you have to modulate a bit and go up and down. And it has to be expressive. It's not there for just any reason, decorative. So you do have to respect that also. It's a difficult aria to sing, and of course the "Do You Know Who I Am" character comes back up when she starts expressing the top B's and stuff, but it's more than that, of course. So the personality assertion, you also have the pleading, reaching out to this deity, and this excruciating sort of putting oneself out there to get attention and plead for one's people. And it's a common trait to many priests and priestesses in opera. I think Sarastro does that a lot. So in the Magic Flute, it really puts itself as a bass, completely different part, but it puts itself out there to carry up to the gods what the people want. And this is what politicians are supposed to do nowadays, really. Always do it as expressive as that and as sincere as that. Ideologically, in an opera, you have this substance of emotion that can be painted in the music, and this is what the Casta Diva is, except that she's really in a crossroad that's really quite a cruel crossroad, and she's putting herself out there to pray for this because she depends on it too. So it's not just for the people, it's also for her. Norma, as I was saying, is one hell of a character, and I wish more young ladies would identify to it, because it's got so much strength and so much beauty, and yet so much vulnerability and so much character and so much shape. Of course, you can't be that young and sing Norma. I think that you need to be a bit more mature as a singer, for life experience sake and for training's sake. I think, in my humble opinion, you need to be a little bit more mature, but it's got so much food emotionally and sociologically for everybody to learn something out of Norma. If you want to have a look at my insights video about Norma, I think I've got a couple of costume suggestions and stagings and insights into her psychological character and the psychological conjectures, the struggles she experiences within. And that's also on my YouTube channel. I hope you carry on listening to beautiful operatic music. It's definitely life-changing. My website is midnightnotebook.com. I also have stuff on Tumblr, midnightnotebook.tumblr.com. And if you want to look at the fashion, it's fashioniq.info. I try to update it when I can. Thank you for watching.